Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Dalila Isah binti Muhammad Saidi. My matric number I19103655. Today I want to present about Fiqh Muamalat assignment. The title that I choose is about Khiyar Guideline in online transaction. Firstly, there are 5 tables of content, which is firstly, introduction of khiyar, second, definition of khiyar, third, types of khiyar, then fourth, khiyar guideline in online transaction, and lastly, conclusion. And I will explain all these subtopics in detail one by one. First subtopic is about introduction. Online transaction is one of the facilities for the community to make payment or money transfer only through online. As we know, online businesses are becoming increasingly popular nowadays. This is because most of the sellers use online initiatives to promote their businesses, such as Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, and so on. But online buying and selling must have their positive effect in the businesses, because the mechanism of online buying and selling is slightly different from the direct buying and selling, but it also have negative impact from the online buying. Okay. Therefore, Islam has stipulated the right of khiyar in the sale and purchase. The use of this right khiyar to some extent helps the buyer in making the decision to buy the goods through online. Okay, now we must know the meaning of khiyar. Okay, in general, khiyar means to seek the goods of two affairs, either continuing the contract or cancelling the contract. Okay, here has four types that has been agreed upon by all the majority scholars, which is khiyar majlis, khiyar ain, khiyar syarat, and lastly khiyar ru'yah. And I will explain the all types of khiyar in detail. Before we go to the types of khiyar, we must know the definition of khiyar according to language and terminology. Okay, khiyar according to the language is derived from a root word such as khara, khairan, wa khiyaratan, which means to choose or choice. While terminology, khiyar is a right for the party, which is the seller and the buyer, to the contract to make a choice whether to continue the contract or cancel the contract based on the condition specific of the contract. Okay, here also a term that describes the right of two parties to check or cancel the contract. The price must be decided by both parties, and it of course usually the factor for the contract. Okay, and both parties should continue to negotiate and reflect on the respective deal at the same ceremony, and the agreement is valid as long as they not leave the location. Okay, here is prescribed is to fulfill the importance for business transaction according to Islamic law. In general, scholars have divided this khiyar into several types, which is Imam Hanafi, divided it into 17 types. Shafi'i 16, Hanbali 8, 8 types, and Maliki 2 types. But only four types of khiyar that has a majority scholars choose this khiyar. Now I will explain the types of khiyar. Firstly, khiyar majlis. It also known as option of ceremony. Khiyar majlis is the right to make decision during a ceremony. It is known as the right of both parties, the seller and the buyer, to complete or cancel the transaction as long as the transaction ceremony is still in place. Okay, for example, for a contract signed in a large house, if one of the parties is out of the court, they are considered the contract have separated. But if they are in small house, the separation is considered when the parties is out of the house. Okay, it based on a hadith from Ibn Umar from Rasulullah SAW that he said when two people make a sale and purchase transaction, then each other of them has the right of khiyar as long as they have not separated and they are still together, or one of the parties give the right of khiyar to the other parties. However, if one of the parties give the right of khiyar to the other and there is a sale and purchase, and if they have separated after the sale and purchase, while one of them does not leave, the sale and purchase still occurred. Narrated by Al-Bukhari and Muslim. Secondly, khiyar syarat is referred to option of condition. Khiyar syarat is an option that has been stipulated in a contract. It gives the right to one or both or third party to confirm or cancel a contract within a certain period of time. This khiyar gives a period of time so that a reassessment of benefits and costs involved can be done in a contract. The purpose of this khiyar is to give an opportunity to sellers and buyers not to rush to make a decision, to enable them to think and make appropriate decision. It based on a hadith narrated by Ibn Majah. The Prophet ﷺ said, when you sell, then say honestly and do not cheat. If you buy something, then you have a choice for 3 days. If you are willing, then take it, but if not, then return to the owner. This khiyar syarat is a specific decision made under the term of a specific contract. So, essentially this here specific a time from a revolution of a benefit and cost associated with a specific contract. Then khiyar ain. It's referred to option of defect. Khiyar ain is the right to cancel or continue the sale and purchase of goods on behalf of the contract party. This happens if an item purchased has a defect or damage. Then the seller has the right to refund the money given by the buyer. Another meaning of khiyar aib is that the buyer can return the goods he bought when there is a defect in the goods that can reduce the quality of the goods or can reduce the price. For example, someone buys a book then finds that the book is incomplete. Then the buyer has the right to cancel the sale agreement that he agreed. Okay, from the hadith from Ibn Majah, from Uqabah ibn Amir, Rasulullah SAW said, the fellow Muslim are brothers. It is not halal for a Muslim to sell his goods to other Muslim, even though the goods have shame or defect. Lastly, in types of khiyar is khiyar ru'yah, which is option of viewing. Khiyar ru'yah is the right to make a choice given to the buyer whether to continue the contract or cancel when he has seen the sale item that he did not see during the contract. The purpose is to prevent the occurrence of fraudulent element in transaction. From hadith of Rasulullah SAW narrated by Ibnu Abbas and Abu Hurairah, which means anyone who buys something that is not seen to him, he has the right to choose whether to accept or reject. So, when the goods are not available during the contracting process, the buyer can choose to accept or reject the contract. Next topic is Khiyar Guideline in online transaction. In the context of online transaction, Islamic law allows several types of voting right of buyers and tenants whether to continue the contract, cancel or amend the contract. They have three conditions in online transaction, which is firstly, the conditions for the right to choose to continue the contract or cancel or amend it due to the defect of the goods is referred to the Khiyar Act. Among them, the disability is not due to the buyer or the tenant. And secondly, the condition for the right to choose to continue the contract or cancel or amend it due to difference in specification. In this condition, the buyer found the goods purchased were not the same as those advertised online from those advertised online with significant difference and the seller did not state clearly about the goods. Okay, and lastly is the condition for the right to choose to continue the contract or cancel or amend it after seeing the goods. This refers to the khiyar ru'yah. One of khiyar ru'yah condition is that the contracting party does not see the negotiated goods during the contract ceremony or until the contract is signed. Furthermore, the goods are unique and specialized assets such as land, homes, vehicles, and so on. If all these three conditions are met, then the buyer can choose whether to continue the contract by accept the condition of the goods as it is or choose, change or cancel the contract. Therefore, the buyer must also meet the condition to determine eligibility in exercising the right of khiyar. If not eligible, then the buyer is not eligible to use the khiyar right. Last subtopic is conclusion. The khiyar method use coincides with the condition that has been set, that is true, reasonable, and consistency. The wisdom behind the existence of khiyar is to give pleasure to the buyer to be given the freedom to choose. Khiyar is also very necessary in the business of buying and selling, so that the buyer and seller do not suffer losses from cruelty dishonesty, and so on. That's all from me. I hope all of you can get some input from my presentation. Thank you for watching. Assalamualaikum.